start the stream.
How is everyone? I really hope that you can hear me, that you can see me. We have an incredible program for today, for this evening, for this morning, depending on where you are right now. For us, it is quite late right now. What are we going to do? We are building on the gigantic miniature map of Summoner's War, the one which we have started 2 weeks ago. Maybe you remember the live stream. But first of all, let me introduce the whole team who is working on this gigantic thing and going along with you together in the next 2 hours. Yeah! And of course, we will take the time to answer your questions. So make sure to write them in the chat. We will do our best to read them. I know it's going quite crazy there. So in the team, we have Andy. And he is working on all the technical stuff.
Hey guys!
He's sitting right over there. Then we have Kirsten. You also know her from the last stream. She will do some crazy continent coating. And I'll tell you in a second what this means. And then the guy behind the camera is Steph, who will...
Hey folks.
Build continents.
Yeah, he will build some continents as well, because, and maybe we can have the shot on top of the whole gigantic map. We made some crazy progress in the last weeks, and we will also show you what we've been working on. We will also work on some crazy stuff together this evening, so I'm Can we start all over again? Just kidding. So I am quite excited. We are all excited. And maybe we can wrap it up. Maybe we can show you very shortly what we've been working on. We prepared a tiny video for you. And for those of you who haven't seen the whole project, will understand after that. So maybe we can have the video of the... Yeah, here you go. So this is how we all started. We printed out the Summoner's War map on a gigantic poster. And as you can see, Steph started building a frame because he just recently moved. And is working with wood a lot. And Kirsten started painting right away. This is the very first layer of color, and I have forgotten the special name for that.
Coating the surface.
Just coating. Okay, coating. Coatings like this. So it's coating, and she starts painting the next layer, and some more details are coming in. And when you remember the last live stream, you may remember all these beautiful lines she drew. Here you can see this. So this was during the last live stream, and it was quite crazy. We did a short workshop on colors in general. How she is, because she's really a color witch. Can you say that? Are you offended if I call you color witch? Okay. So here you can see Steph working with a hot wire. Well, let's just call it hot wire. How he is shaping all the continents. And we showed you this in the last live stream as well. You can do some beautiful stuff with this, with the foam. And this is how we got there, where we are right now, how we got there and built the continents, in a whole. And when you are playing Summoner's War, you will recognize all these places. Well, and then I screwed up a lot because I thought it would be nice to show you some real sculpting, and I felt somehow under pressure to create these figurines in like 10 minutes. I didn't succeed. This is for 6-year anniversary Summoner's War for those of you, and then we are about to start with the real stuff with Clay, I give you a brief summary of the game. I have my mobile phone here, and this time I'll unlock it so that people don't see my code. Oh, I have to show you this. They put in the, oh wait, this is the filter. Let me put out the filter. So, it's us inside the game. Woo! So I'm not show again today. Yeah. Well, give me a sec. I'll just make a reposition of the camera. This is my little island. This is where all the important buildings can be found. I want to show you let's start with the overall map. I hope I really don't offend anyone who is a real pro in Summoner's War, because I am not. I'm just playing 2 months, so give me some more time. This is the world map. Look at that. It's so beautiful designed. We have all these continents. Could we switch to the camera? Yeah. Now you get the comparison. So these are the continents. We have Garin Forest, for example, which I have already built with Clay. I'm going to show you this. And we have some very crazy spots like the dimension hole. It's still unlocked for me because I still have to work my way there. And then the other huge part, maybe we'll find some time, is the fighting of the game, which I really love because it is about making your monsters stronger. And now we are switching to the monsters. Here you can see some of the monsters I own. This is the shark, which I created last time, and I think it still survived. Still not the most prettiest. It looks nice from one side, but not the other. But I guess that's okay. It's television. You can do whatever you... No. It's YouTube. You can do whatever you want. Now, let's go to one special character, and we will create him with Clay. But first of all, thanks a lot, Summoner's War. Thanks a lot for sponsoring not only this live stream, but for believing in us to manage it, to create this gigantic map with clay, with cardboard, with foam, with whatever. Well, I'm still not sure what we will come up with. Thanks a lot. We are more than happy to celebrate the 6-year anniversary with you. Not only with Summoner's War, with Come To Us, but also with the community. And there is a code down in the description. It is SummonClayClaim, and you get some pretty nice stuff. I wrote it down in the description of this live stream, so check it out. Also written down how to get there. And now, time for the sculpting part, and I will show you the character which I have prepared. So what I really love about the game, when you want to create something out of clay, you go to collection, I switch to the light, so not light, but light and dark monsters. And we have some really crazy monsters. I choose, because it was actually suggested by some of you. Let me go there. Where is he? She? Artamiel. Look at that. And I have prepared something for today. Let me fetch the clay figurine. Yeah. This is Artamiel. It's maybe you don't get the right feeling for the size, but you can compare it to your thumb. It's half the size of the thumb. And do we still have the video how I created it? Maybe we can show this, and I tell you how I built this clay miniature. So I needed some glass. Luckily I found this frame, and I just put it over my phone. and I started creating, getting in some details, and I focused on just one side because I'm pretty sure this character, Artamiel, will be used from just one perspective, and it made me way more easy to create. The tiny fingers, I have never created such small fingers. This is the sword of Artamiel. We have some jewelry inside, which are quite beautiful. The face, we have the nose, which is just a tiny piece of clay. We have the hair, we have the hoodie somehow. Well, and that's where I am right now. And I thought we will start right away and yeah, glue it together, draw some beautiful details into it, and let's see how the finished Artamiel will look like. So we will remove everything from the glass surface. So this fell off. Hopefully it doesn't break. Okay. Now these are the beautiful wings, and then we have the sword. Hopefully it doesn't break. In the last live stream I killed 2 figurines, which was unfortunate. And now I have some different kinds of glue, but before gluing together, maybe it is even better to draw the outlines. Here you can see the 3D model inside the game, and you can see that there are all some beautiful golden outlines, and I want to create these. Maybe not all of them. Oh yeah, the drawer of death. Hopefully I'll find some beautiful golden colors. Yeah, maybe this one is good. Let's try it out. So, this is the way you can see the outlines, and I'm using this is a regular acrylic pen. Hopefully I don't screw it up. Oh, now this should work great. And hopefully in a minute we'll get a beautiful Artamiel. We have some more outlines to go. If you have some questions concerning Summoner's War, concerning sculpting with clay, I already saw some other YouTube channel related questions. Just write them right now in the chat. I will come back to that later. So hopefully I'll get that right. It looks beautiful, look at that. Now I try to be really careful. Also working on these outlines. Yeah. And then we are almost done with the first layer of acrylic paint, although it's a pen, of course. So there are some signs right on the head. I'm not sure if you can see that. Right there. And I try to paint this right on the hoodie as well. Ah, beautiful! Now let's glue this together and let's have a look what Artamiel looks like. Oh, Rick, thank you so much for your donation. I love your videos. Thank you so much. I'm really thankful, not only because you donated, but for your message. So thanks a lot. I'm glad you're enjoying and hopefully enjoy the whole live stream. Now let's come back to the creation. Artamiel. Let's check which size the wings should be. Maybe right there. But before, we have to draw some golden outlines also on the wings. Okay. We don't have to draw too much on the wings because they will be hidden anyway. Okay. Now I am gluing Artamiel onto her wings. Is Artamiel his or her? I'm not quite sure. Maybe some of you can help me out with that and write it in the comments. Or right if you think it's he, she, or transgender, I don't know. Now let's place our Tamil right there. Oh, this was a little bit too much. And of course, we have to give this glue at least 10 seconds. This is quite brutal, this this glue. I can't talk right now, it's just too crazy. Gluing and talking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are you getting your wool from? So while this is drying, maybe I can take some of your questions. The wool, well, mostly I'm ordering it online, but there's also a farm nearby the city I'm living. I really love that I can see where the sheep are running around. This wool is quite dirty when working with, but sometimes this is what I am looking for, some smoke, for example. Okay, back to the creation. Now our Tamil has some wings and I want to include the sword as well. And before gluing the sword, look at this effect. There is some smoke or steam or energy fields. I think it's a he. Thanks a lot for that. So it's his sword and wool. I will take some wool for that. We just talked about the wool. So let me have a look. This is my really proud wool collection. I got it from my mother and she got it from her mother and no, just kidding. But hopefully we have some beautiful white. Yeah, I'm looking for some white wool. This one is too bright. Yeah, I think this one is beautiful. So it's the organic wool I talked about. Titan, thanks so much for your donation. Midas Doomsday, of course, I'll do something more about Doomsday, the Doomsday device. I am as much disappointed as you are that we have still to wait a little bit more, but maybe this guy plays an important role. This is Cyclo. But, well, we will see. I used some wool there as well. This is purple. We have some, what's it called, yellow as well. It looks quite steamy. I really love that. But now let's come back to the sword of Artamiel. And it's crazy to Anverdas. Thanks a lot. Can you make some Skyrim figurines? Oh, yeah, I actually thought about that because I played Skyrim for a while. Now I try to glue the wool. I hope you can see this and the focus is good. To the sword, and then we will glue the sword to Artamiel, and then we will go downstairs and have a look what this figurine looks like on the map and join the guys downstairs. So maybe we can glue this right there. Okay, not too much of the wool. Looks great, doesn't it? Maybe we can compare to the in-game sword. And now let's put it into his hands. Oh, it looks amazing! Okay, some glue. We put it into his hands, and this will officially be the very first figurine for the gigantic miniature map, which is finished. Although I think I saw a different clay figurine there a few minutes ago. Maybe he left the building. I think it may have been Butters from South Park. Okay, look at that, it's Artamiel. We make a comparison. This is Artamiel in-game. This is clay Artamiel, the size of my thumb. Thanks so much, I'm glad you like this. So I made a list of what to cover in today's live stream that I don't forget anything. Let me check. So we have created this. Maybe it is time and we go downstairs. Of course, you will join me. And we are about to build some continents together with Steph, and he will give you a brief summary on how we did this and how we got there where we are. Okay, going downstairs. Doo, doo, doo. Wow, it's Artamiel. He's finished.
Well, we can compare them.
Oh yeah.
There's Butters. He's not fully gone.
So this is the guy who was replacing Artamiel for a minute.
I mean, he was good for size comparison.
Yeah.
He's a little fuller in the hips, but other than that.
I just put him aside, and now let's have a look on what Steph is building or working on.
Well, we started last stream with Rift Worlds, and it's almost finished, or it's finished, at least the continent itself, and it just needs the coding. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we've done so far. We used the heat wire a lot for the outlines, and actually I find it not as useful as it might seem. To cover the flat ground, it's really good, but otherwise I like to, or I prefer to just shape it and just carve it free. It seems a little bit rough, but it's the best way to get where you have to go. It's like carving in wood a little bit, just a little bit softer. And for today we cover the dimension hole. It's actually the last place, the last piece of the map which is missing. And I did this outline piece, and we're going to cut it. And maybe we just jump right into it.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see that, how you work.
And for now,
on a fresh
we
piece.
use the heat wire because we have to get all around the outlines. So just try to have a steady hand for that. And it's kind of like this game where you have to try not to touch anything that you don't want to touch. I don't know what the game is called.
Dr. Bibber? Something like
Dr.
that.
Bibber, maybe.
Do people outside of Germany know that, Dr. Bick?
I think it's an American game, but I'm not sure about that.
Something else though, isn't it?
So and then you can just like pull it off.
It looks so satisfying when you just pull off one of the pieces. Look at that. Dimension hole. Amazing.
Yeah, and sometimes it gets a little bit hard because, you know, like it's not enough room to go further down, so we just like pull it out again to continue from where we left off.
Oh, thanks so much for the short introduction of your tool, of your amazing,
And I just
very dangerous tool. And of course we will come back to you and the table and see what your progress is on this piece. And now let's have a look on what Kirsten has been working on.
But didn't you guys want to place Artemiel first?
Okay, maybe he can watch you.
You can watch me being amazing, I guess.
This is amazing. And guys, this is quite ugly. What is this? It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. I'm a witch, don't you know? So what I'm going to do today is work with paper clay, which is like a very, very simple material to make. It's something you can do with like stuff you have at home, hopefully. By now you have this at home and it ain't that precious anymore. It's just toilet paper. This is toilet paper that has been soaking in water for half a day or something. It's very squishy and ugly looking, but I promise you it's going to look fine in the end.
Do I want to touch this? I don't know. It's quite cold. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little disgusting, but it's also fun. And what we do with this is take it out.
Look at that, guys.
Look at that. Ah, it's so disgusting. You squelch it until there's little to no water left in it. And then you have to mix it with glue. And the glue I already pre-mixed it because it needs a little time to sit. It's just a mixture of normal wallpaper glue and wood glue. And the wood glue is important because you need it to stick to this construction foam because it's quite a tricky material. So yes, doing this at first. You don't need much for this.
And then
mixing it with clay, not with clay, with glue. And then everything gets even more disgusting, which is the fun part of this. The guys know how much I love working with my fingers and just doing all the disgusting things. This is
hopefully I don't fall down.
So
that would be quite funny.
that would be, I'm not sure if funny is the word I could use. So, and if you get a good mixture of this.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Show it to me.
This gets weirder by the minute. You actually have something that's
You
like,
made some dirt right there.
everything is going to get dirty, which is the reason I use this foil to protect the map. I wouldn't work like this normally, but this is a live stream.
Okay.
It's to look pretty.
I will just watch and learn.
You will watch and learn.
And Artamiel.
And Artamiel, which
Yeah.
will watch and learn too.
Yeah.
So if you mix this up like this, you get something that's actually similar to clay. And you can do beautiful things with this. I'm not sure if I can do beautiful things with this, but there are people who can use this to do puppets and set building and stuff, because you get an interesting texture in the end.
Yeah.
And I'm using it for two reasons, or we're using it for two reasons. One is the texture, like getting a texture all over that's easy to paint on, because it's basically just paper. And the other thing is that we need to protect our surface, because we're going to pour resin onto this whole map to make basically the sea see-through, and we need to protect our continents because they'll melt if there's no protection.
Should we show our testing piece maybe?
I actually have it over here so you can see it. Like, this happens to foam if you have no protection.
Because it gets so hot,
Because
right?
it gets so hot. Yes,
Yeah.
it's like it's two chemicals and they work together and it creates this beautiful see-through thing. But in the process, it gets very, very hot and the foam melts. So to protect the foam, we needed something to coat it. And this is a simple to make material that creates quite a lovely surface that you can actually do sculpting in. And yeah.
Thanks so much for showing the technique. Of course, we will come and visit you some more times during this live stream. I'm quite excited to see how all the continents will turn from yellow to
Muddy gray.
to this color.
Ain't it looking lovely already?
What do you think? How long will it take until it is completely dry, that we can start painting?
I think 1.5 days is a good amount of time to have. Like, it does take some time to dry.
Ah, great.
But there are some parts that definitely need to be hidden, or that need more sculpting than we could do with the construction foam. So I think this is a good way to go about it. But we'll see if it is actually a good way to go about it.
And if it works, yeah. Are you going to use some more tools or just your hands?
Starting out, I'm just going to use my hands, but I might take a knife or something in the end.
To get sharp edges,
Yes, to get
for
more
the
sharp
rocky look.
Yes, of course. And like little cracks and stuff. I think those could be very lovely. And you can do all of this with like this, basically, which is so basic. The things that you probably have at home,
So you don't have to
Anyway.
buy any expensive clay anymore.
No, don't do it. Just use toilet paper. That's
Yeah.
not it. But it's a great material. It's versatile, and you can use it for different things. And
Yeah. Thanks so much. So see you later.
See you later.
We will now start working on some more clay. I have prepared something which I will then pass over to Steph because he is working on the dimension hole. So let's have a look and see you back on the desk right there.
right there.
Hopefully.
I'll be crossing the-
Well, you can't see this. I'm just going up the stairs right now. Our Tamil is flying. Oh no, I wanted to leave him downstairs. I could throw him. Should I throw him? You can write it in the comments, in the chat. No? Okay, no. I think I destroyed too many figurines in the past. Okay, we are back on the table. And I would actually, oh no. Oh, I just glued my golden pen onto the desk. Oh no, I was about to use this again. Okay, now I have super glue on my finger, which is not really good as well. I have some toilet paper roll here, the very last toilet paper roll. And now I have some super glue under my fingernail, but well, I will just deal with that. I'd like to take some comments and some questions from you guys. I have collected some of these, maybe you have collected some of these.
Yes, I collected some questions. And what's your favorite Fortnite sculpture?
My favorite Fortnite sculpture.
Created,
Yeah,
created.
yeah. I'd like to answer. I have like my all-time favorite, which is Leviathan, which I think I don't have. Well, I actually have him right over there, but it will be quite difficult to reach. Hopefully, I don't destroy any further creations. So I have this gigantic shelf with some creations. Here you go, Leviathan. Oh no, all the water disappeared. I will show you in more detail. we can show our Tamil. Now you can see the size comparison. So this is Leviathan. You remember this guy. I put in some real water and I happened to travel to Los Angeles last year where I brought this guy, and the people at the security were wondering what this liquid really is. Yeah, so this is Leviathan, and then I created Cyclo, and right now I'd say this is my favorite skin I have worked on because he is so detailed and we have some really crazy techniques there. I used some nails and the wool, and well, the guy looks amazing, and maybe he will play also an important role. Maybe we can switch on the other cam, the comment cam. No, the comment cam inside the image.
I don't know which can.
The tiny one right there, so that people can see me. So then you can see me as well.
I don't know.
So, these are my favorite skins. Any further questions from your side? Can you do the golem? Well, actually, I have prepared a golem for this evening. We will get there in a minute. Do you also have collected some further questions?
Yes, when you started creating, so when you started.
Sculpting with clay. Yeah. When did I start sculpting with clay? I'd say I started sculpting with clay when I was like 3 or 4 years old. All my childhood I created crazy things like this. Well, not in the very good level. You can check out the 1000 subscriber special on the channel to see what kind of figurines I created. Yeah, and then I stopped for many years, and then I started again doing this just 4 years ago. So I'm not doing this all my life, but most of my life, I'd say. Yeah. How was it to be in Galileo? For those of you who don't know Galileo, it's a television series, a German television series. Yeah, it was shooting a whole day. The whole team and me, we've been to the studio, we were shooting here, and they used like 3 minutes of it, so it was a lot of work. I still have some glue under my fingernail. It's somehow annoying. Yeah, and it was okay. You can look it up. It is all about how much money does a YouTuber make and all that kind of stuff. So just look for ClayClaim, Galileo, and you should find this on YouTube. So any further questions, or should we keep some of them as well?
Because you told that we are German, one was asking if the Rainbow Six video, that's in German.
The Rainbow Six video.
Synchronized, or we are Germans.
Yeah.
Is it synchronized?
Well, I did actually a voiceover for the latest video, the Rainbow Six Siege. Yes.
And in the intro, is it you or is it somebody else who is speaking?
No, it's actually my voice. So if you want to hear me speak German, just check out the channel is called GTV from Ubisoft, and you can see and hear me speak German the whole video long. So it's quite funny, because I somehow make some different jokes in German. Yeah. I also wrote down some questions from right at the beginning, before the stream even started. So let me pick one of the questions right there. From Captain Fishy 51. He was quite active right at the beginning of the stream, and he asked, I have another question for starting out a YouTube channel. Do you have any advice? My biggest advice would be pick your YouTube channel and pick what you're doing out of your passion, because nothing beats that. There will be days where you don't want to do this, where you are stuck, where you well, just don't want to create or do whatever you would like. But when it is your passion, it will help a lot to overcome this. So pick a YouTube channel if you want to start one. Yeah, from your passion, go on from right there, and don't give up. Most of the time, even me, it's not about giving up. It's about yeah, going further. We are trying out new materials we have never worked with. So yeah, don't be fearful and just do it. It sounds so like advertising, but this is the way it is, actually. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to take some further questions later in the stream, but for now, I thought we will start all over. I will show those of you who just joined the stream some, the video which we have prepared, what we have done so far, what we have built so far, the whole miniature map. It's a different video. Maybe we can pick the one, yeah, from right of the beginning, where we started with the very first working step on working the miniature map. Here we go. So this is our table. We have the gigantic poster, and Steph, now you can see Steph working with some wood, working on the frame. And Kirsten started painting right away, because this is like the ground layer for the color. If you use white underneath, every color on top will get just brighter. And yeah, this is the most important step right now. And here you can see how she started adding some more colors to that. When you compare it to the map in the game, we have some really strong and amazing colors. And there's also like a nice color gradient when you go right to the edge. And this was some footage taken from the last stream we did. She drew some lines and some details into this, so it's quite beautiful. It got quite dark because we have been working for so long. And here you can see Steph working on or with the foam. We just met him downstairs and he showed you his tools. A lot of continents, a lot of detail works with the hot wire. And now you can see the comparison. This is the way to go. This is where we want to end up. So it's still a long, long way. Yeah, with beautiful details. And now placing all these pieces in the gigantic map. This is my first attempt in creating Inugami. It's the water Inugami. It's the boss from the very first stage. And also the shark. All for Summoners War 6-year anniversary, and I'm still so excited because it's such a gigantic project we are all working on. Maybe we can have a look on the table what it looks like right now. So this is where we are right now. Hi Kirsten. So we just met her downstairs. She's working with the paper clay, coating all the continents. And maybe we can have a look at Steph, what he is working on right now. He's working on the next continents, and I will join him downstairs in a minute because we are somehow working on the same map piece right now together. So it will be, yeah, quite exciting. For those of you who just joined, today's stream is actually sponsored by Summoners War. They are celebrating the 6-year anniversary, and they asked, I met them way back then, it was a year ago on Gamescom, and we got to know each other. They remembered what I was doing with clay, and they asked, hey, we're celebrating 6-year anniversary. Could you create a gigantic miniature map? And this map is really gigantic, it's crazy, with clay, with cardboard, and this is what we are actually doing right now. I will show you the game, I will show you Summoners War, give you a brief summary what this game is about. So this is my island right now, still level 16 because I have been working like crazy on clay figurines and on the map. We all have been. And we have the monsters, which I showed you before. These are my monsters. This is my favorite actually right now. And then we have the gigantic map, which we are about to create with clay, with cardboard, with foam. So it will be really crazy. And as promised, I'd like to show, for those of you who are new to the game, just a short battle that you get a feeling for this. So I go to Garen Forest. Let's pick maybe the final boss. I can choose the monsters. I just take them. So it's quite easy right now because it's the very first boss and my heroes are too strong right now. So I can pick my attacks. And of course they are killed immediately because my monsters are that strong. They are not. Some of the pros are cringing right now. So I go to the automative mode. And what I really love is that you can build up, that you can work, that you can develop your heroes. I'll show you this in a minute by using the runes. This was origami, the water, origami? No, origami was something different with paper. Well, we will cut that out, of course. It's Inukami, it's Inukami, of course. Water Inugami, he's called Water Inugami. Yeah, and we will also come back to him because I created him. I'm getting a reward. I just got a rune, yeah, let me just show you to go to the monsters how to develop these. Our shark, for example. We go to runes and you see that I have 6 slots. The blade rune, for example, which increases my attack in general, or health points, critical damage, and I can develop these. For example, the blade rune, I can power up, and I hope you can hear this. I turn up the volume because I love that sound. Power up, power up. So it was a success. I can try this over and over again to make my monster stronger. You see how this all increases, but it will fail. Later it will fail. And you will see this right now. So now it failed. The stronger the runes are getting, the more difficult it is to improve your monsters, actually. I prepared something different, and I will show you what I have prepared. I've been working on the dimension hole, this floating island, and we have a pretty nice idea how to create it and how to place it onto the map. I will show you the clay piece I've been working on. So this would be the size. Let me zoom out just a little bit. This is the size of the dimension hole, so it's gigantic compared to Artamiel. Look at that. It really is, but it feels right, this size. Then Steph created this cardboard cutout for me. And I used this as a blueprint for clay. And I already have put this into the oven. This is the first part. And because I ran out of plates, I put the clay onto this piece of glass. And hopefully we can remove it. We have some further pieces right there. And now we can build it together. So it will be, I have to look it up. It will go right there. So this should be the right spot for dimension hole. We have to add some further beautiful details. This is like the portal. We have some crystals, and they are, well, they should really be somehow transparent. So I try to work on this with transparent clay. I have some clay which gets transparent after oven hardening. Look at that. Now, this is the piece. We have the stairs right there, which I still have to create. We will glue it onto this. No, not right now, because it should be a little bit lifted. So I put just some clay underneath that you get a feeling for the height. So it should just look like that. We can make a comparison. It won't be straight, it will be more like this on the final map. Maybe we can see the map again so that people can imagine. It will be placed like right there. Yeah, right there. So this is the spot for dimension hole. And I'll bring this down in a minute, bring this to Steph, because he needs this while working with foam, which he is preparing right now. So it's like the underneath structure for the dimension hole. Okay, what can we else prepare? We have some beautiful lines and details right there. And I remember having a blue glowing pen. So I haven't done this before. I just want to know what it looks like. We can zoom in just a little bit on our tiny map piece. Before I start painting, maybe I can show you another map which I have worked on. this one or even this one. There's some dust on it. So the figurines are missing, but this is the one from Brawl Stars I created. It's the same principle. I'm rolling out very thin layers of clay to make it really thin and start afterwards adding the details, adding grass, for example, or even painting. You can see this pattern on the ground. So this was quite beautiful, and you can see it right now in the overview map, the agency. And I'd like to take one of the questions, because I just saw that. Will you destroy the agency? Because this may happen to the agency. Of course not. I have never destroyed anything with clay. Yes. I'm lying. I will do whatever happens during the live stream, of course. Yeah, it will be quite exciting. And this is also different layers of clay. The same principle. We have some liquid clay which gets transparent over time. We have this layer, and this is what I have done to the dimension hole as well. Now, just for testing, I put this a little bit higher, and as promised, we will start painting some of these lines. Maybe we can sharpen the pen a little bit, because it's too bulky. I hope this works. Okay. Okay, I destroyed my pen, but this was worth it, because now we can draw some really, really tiny lines. Let's see. I start with this line, which goes just like... Is it painting? Yeah. I thought this pen would shine a little bit more. Maybe it's not the right pen. Maybe we could work with some white pen and make it blue afterwards. I have some acrylic paint. Let's try this out, if it's a better way of dealing with it. I have it right over here. And we need a very thin brush. Let's have a look. This one, I forgot to clean this pen, and now it got really hard. But for this purpose, it may be quite nice. Okay, now let's pick some blue, some bright blue. We have some white right here. Let's put the colors aside. And for mixing, I just take this piece of glass. And then we can start working on the dimension hole and bring it down to Steph. So this is some white and some blue. Let's see. Oh yeah. And we are about to mix both of them up, just like this, to get the blue a little bit brighter. And maybe we don't mix it too much, because then we still have this kind of pattern inside. And this should do it. Let's try it out. Oh yeah, it gets way stronger. It's not the most beautiful line I have ever drawn. But after it is, while it is drying, we can remove this extra part of color just with a scalpel, because then it's dry. Actually, we can try it out right now, if it is working with the scalpel. Oh yeah, look at that. Now the line gets quite even. And there's another line right here. So again, this is just for the purpose of testing. testing it out. And then it goes right there and there and over this crack. It goes even over this crack. We need some more paint. And I think this will be actually one of my favorite parts of the whole map, because we have some plans with some LED lights, and maybe this will be really amazing and really shine. Yeah. Okay, now that we have worked on this piece, I'd like to bring it downstairs and bring it to Steph so he can include this into his working progress. And after that, we will take some questions. So, these are the pieces of dimension hole. Steph, I really hope you like this.
I hope I do. Well, I do. It's pretty cool. I already started, and I'm just like building the shapes from down below. The good thing about this is actually we just see the front side, so we can make it up as we go. So I just like drew some outlines where I think like I have to go a little bit, where I have to make it a little bit thicker, and where I have to go a little bit thinner, and I try to make the first kind of details with like this flying piece, and which is not that easy because it easily breaks off, so you have to be very careful. And if it breaks off, you just use wooden glue and it's all fine again, so there's actually no issue. But we can just make this.
I just stick this on top with some clay, so this is not really like forever.
Just, like, make the first.
Oh, the yellow matches perfectly with the clay, with the outline, but I guess it will be covered in acrylic paint.
Yeah, it will be covered in acrylic paint, and I guess we take the paper clay again and just like give it a little bit of a finishing touch. So yeah.
Where would you add the paper clay?
Very carefully around the construction firm. Just it makes a very beautiful, how do you call it, surface, and it looks a little bit smoother in the end than just the construction firm does. So it's really good to get some shapes, and if you use clay, I guess it's very heavy if you construct like bigger pieces and you want to do a map, so you can actually use that as a carving tool to shape things out and then lay the clay on top.
I hope it's not too dark, but we will get in some beautiful lines. I try to get them a little bit thinner in the final end result, but this should do it. May I borrow this just for a sec?
Yeah.
I'd like to see this on the map. Just have a look how it will look like. Ah, this already looks so beautiful. The right position will be, we have a map right over there hanging, which is quite helpful. So the final dimension hole piece will be just like this, I guess.
Maybe even higher.
Maybe even higher, yeah.
How high can we go?
How high can we go? Yeah, we even bought this transparent stuff, right?
I know where it is. I put it over there in Mort's corner. Do you know where it is?
Nope.
My hands are so sneaky, but I would get it.
So we have some ideas how to get it floating actually, and we will show you. This is, oh yeah, your I'm sorry, your hands are covered in paper clay.
Yeah, I'm really leaky, but it's no issue.
So it's like, what's the material?
Acrylic.
It's just acrylic. No, I'm not sure about the height. Maybe this high.
No, too much.
So it could go just like this.
And we need the other half of it for
Yeah, you're right.
the arena on the other side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's
Both
actually
of
a
these are going
second
to be
piece.
Yeah.
floating islands.
And it's it has like, well, you can put things through it
Oh yeah.
like a cable because we need to get electricity to the LEDs. So actually that's the plan of making a hole
Right
through the
there.
cable, and we have a little bit of space underneath. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there's Simon. And so this is just for the electricity in the end.
Mm.
And yeah,
Amazing. Really looking forward to see this thing fly.
And also to see it light up. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm really excited for it. There are a lot of very beautiful like light effects that you can see on the map, and we'll
Yes.
try to do something similar
Yeah, we will light this up. We'll definitely light this up.
for sure.
Yeah,
with fire.
With fire, we're going to burn. No, we're not going to
with
burn
some
it.
fire. Oh,
But
I'm
with
sorry.
fire-
I was already planning firecrackers.
No, no firecrackers. No firecrackers in this project.
We don't want to destroy it.
Okay, thanks so much. I can take over from here. We will meet Steph again, of course, in a minute, but he needs some time right now to work on this piece. And now, Kirsten, what have you done? What have you done?
Some
Oh.
sort of accusatory.
Looks beautiful, actually.
Nobody knew. Nobody predicted it's going to look okay in the end.
It really does.
It really does. So you can actually do sculpting with this. As weird of a material as it seems at first, you can actually like get some great effects with it. If you have a little patience, you can use a knife, which is a great tool to just cut in lines, especially for like the stone textures we're trying to do, and just get a feel for it. As you can see, it's a material for those who are not afraid of getting dirty, because I am. But I think it's actually coming along nicely.
It really does. And I love this crack, for example, right
Yeah.
here. So you made this with a knife,
Yeah.
not with your fingernails.
There are none to speak of. No, I didn't do it with my fingernails. And you can also like all of these are stone structures, so you can also like make little stone thingies out of these. Like it's not the same as clay, of course, but you can like do something like this, and it also already looks like a little stone.
Oh, it really does.
And it's a lot cheaper and a lot lighter, which is the most important part. Like Steph just said it a few minutes ago, weight is something you definitely have to worry about when you
Yeah.
do something that's this big,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
like so many islands, so many continents. So doing everything out of clay, out of like polymer clay, as lovely as it is, would have probably been too much for the poor table.
For people who just joined, what is this material? What is
this
yeah?
material?
What is paper clay?
What is paper clay? Oh, it's mysterious toilet paper. No, it is toilet paper. You can come over here and you can just take a look at what I did beforehand. It's toilet paper soaked in water for half a day or something. You get this
Looks so
really
disgusting.
disgusting.
And you're touching this with your hands?
I'm touching this with my hands. This is what you're going to have to deal with. So this is just soaked through toilet paper. It's very similar to paper mache, but it holds up better and you actually have something to sculpt with. This is how it looks in the end.
So what's the difference?
The difference is this is soaked through, and yes, I'm just going to grab this, and I know it's disgusting. Those sounds lovely. You squelch it until there's little to no water left in it, and then you add glue to it. And we use a mixture of like wood glue and wallpaper glue, because wood glue sticks to the foam, while wallpaper glue doesn't, but we definitely need like more glue to make the paper stick to itself. And then it gets even more disgusting
And more sticky.
and more sticky, which is why I shouldn't touch anything, but I did. So this is like it's like baking, I guess, which probably is a sign that I don't know anything about baking.
When was the last time you prepared something delicious in the kitchen? Hey,
How about never?
just today's lunchtime, these beautiful rolls, they were delicious.
They were delicious, and I didn't make them.
You bought them.
He knew. He's faking it.
Yeah, I'm just teasing. So this is how you created the material.
Yeah, this is paper clay. This is made of like the simplest materials. You probably have them at home, and you can use this over something, over a structure to like make quite a beautiful texture. And you can also like really sculpt with this. There are people who make beautiful puppets and puppet
Really?
and houses just with paper clay.
Really?
Like it's super simple. It's super easy to make. So
It looks crazy. Yeah, I'll definitely try this material out to create some figurines. You should remember me if I forget.
oh, is this kind of a bet? Are you going to try it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Are you willing to do
But
this?
well, for now I will return to the table and work with polymer clay.
Just regular clay. That's not as disgusting and sticky as this.
And I'll just leave the camera right here. Give it to Steph. Yeah. And I will go upstairs. So I'll meet you at the table. And then we will start working with clay again, with polymer clay. Okay. But before I start working on the clay part, I'd like to take some of your questions. Yeah, maybe Andy, any new questions? Have you collected some of these? Oh great. Can you make Hellhound from Summoner's War? Hellhound. I will look him up. I'm not sure. I think is it the fire type of the Inugami? Is that right?
I already searched for him.
And he did some crazy searching. It's this guy. I think I even had him. Maybe I can point the camera right there. Oh, look at that. It looks so beautiful. So it's this guy. Oh yeah, he would be beautiful. I don't want to spoiler, but I created an Inugami and we could paint him red just instead. So yes, that would be a great idea. Thanks a lot for the question. Okay, let's see, any further questions? Where do you order your clay from? Yeah, it's a lot, I know, which we are using. We have the online store, ClayClaim.com. And you can get the clay right there, or you go to your next hardware store. We happen to have a beautiful, tiny art store right across the street, which closed. I'm still really sad about that too, because it was stuffed and there was material all over the place and crazy things to discover. And this is what I really love. So yeah, it's the type of clay is just polymer clay. You should look it up and you will find it. Yeah, okay, let's have a look at some further questions. Cyclo, yes, he will be restocked next week.
Some of them are restocked.
Okay, Cyclo. Yeah, Kirsten just told me Cyclo is already restocked in the online store. Probably not for long. Okay, let's see. Post Gaming 8. Hi ClayClaim, love your channel. Saw you were live streaming, so I just had to join. Thanks so much. This is so nice. I'm really happy all of you are joining. I really hope that all of you have a great time watching us being creative here in the studio, doing some creative stuff with clay, with paper clay, this evening, at least for us right now, with the foam stuff and putting this all together for a gigantic artwork itself. I will come back to some of the questions. I have also wrote down some questions for myself. It's them king, and also I think you wrote down a similar question to that I should create George Floyd, and do you believe in Black Lives Matter? Of course, no question about that. I gave a statement in the latest video, the Rainbow Six video, so the very first minute of the video, I talked about that, and that I also will try to bring this topic more to the channel. Maybe not right now, because everyone is speaking about this right now, but I am asking myself what is in 2 to 3 months, and I will make sure to create like a George Floyd in 2 to 3 months and talk about this topic. So I really hope you will appreciate this. And I have still a lot to learn when it comes to racism, and you helped me to understand this a lot. I made this posting, for example, on Instagram, where I wrote Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, and some of you pointed out to me that while I was writing All Lives Matter, of course, this is, I think this is clear for everyone, but it took away some part of the message of the Black Lives Matter movement right now. And as I mentioned, I still a lot to learn, and I still want to learn a lot about other cultures, and that we face racism a lot more and make it a bigger topic, even on the channel. Yeah. I will come back to some of your questions. Why did you stop creating Pokemons? Okay, just this one question. To be honest, I was not that into Pokemon anymore. Currently, I'm playing Summoner's War, for example, and it's a complete new world, and I love diving into this and not playing multiple titles at the same time. Well, of course, Fortnite is still a big thing for me, for some of you not, I know. We will see what will happen in the next days. Now, some more questions later, so please keep on writing them. Andy is writing them down, for example. Thanks a lot for that.
No problem, you're welcome.
I'd like, for those of you who just joined, because I've seen that some of you were asking, why do you have a green screen? Well, this is magic. Look at this. Oh! Some of you were asking, what are we doing? We are working on a gigantic Summoner's War miniature map for the 6-year anniversary. And here you can see the table Kirsten is working on right now with paper clay. We have prepared a tiny video for you to summarize what we have done in the past. And maybe we can play this and show to you what we have done so far. So this is the table. This is a huge poster where we printed out the whole Summoner's War map, and Steph started building the structure, the frame of this. He recently moved and was doing a lot with wood anyway. And then Kirsten came along and started painting the first layer white to get brighter and stronger colors. And yeah, this is what it looks like from the top view, the top angle. It can be overwhelming when you see the size of such a huge artwork, but somehow we just started. We started with the wooden frame, we started with the color. Here you see some of the footage from the latest live stream, the one 2 weeks ago. Kirsten is drawing some lines and some more details to that. And this is the area where we'll fill in the continents. And Steph started working with a hot wire. This is foam, it's melting. when it comes in contact, when it comes in touch with a hot wire, for example. So it feels like cutting butter somehow. And this is how we build all the continents with knife, of course. It's quite difficult when you have all these details in one perspective of the game and you have to improvise a lot. You have to find other ways. And then in the last live stream we started working on some monsters, and we will do this, and you will see this guy in ingame in a minute. This is how we created him together, the shark as well, all for Summoners War 6-year anniversary. This is where we are right now. Before I get to the clay part, thanks a lot for today's sponsor. Thanks a lot for Summoners War, for Come to Us, for not only sponsoring this live stream, but also for believing in us, and that they asked us and they wanted to see this gigantic miniature map. I will show you the game on my cell phone so that you get a perspective. So this is the part. Make it a little bit more quiet. This is the overall map we are creating right now. These are my monsters, for example. So it's all about, I told that before, it's all about building up your own army of beautiful monsters, improving them. I showed you the runes, for example, where you can level them up, your monsters, and then battle with them on the map. And people tell me that there are even some other maps. So when I am improved, one day maybe, I will see behind the curtain. I will see what Summoners War really is about. And right now it's a lot. It can be overwhelming, but I love this, to dive right into this. And this, guys, is Garen Forest. And I am showing you this because we will create Garen Forest right after this. I go to the very first battle. Oh, look at that! It's Artamiel. Haha. No. Yeah, it's quite easy right now. This is why I killed him with just one hit. And this is my reward. But what I wanted to show you is the area around. It's the beautiful trees. It's maybe the waterfall. I'm still not sure about that. It's a lot of grass. And I'll show you what I have created so far. It's time for some serious clay sculpting. But first of all, let me make some space on the table. There is some color lying around, and I think I already have some color right on my arm somewhere. So let's put this aside. Look at my mark. Can we get a close up on the mark? It's Donkey Kong. But the one from the very first Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. And now let me show you what I have been working on the past days. Well, not only this, but this is a gigantic cutout. This is Garen Forest. And I have prepared this with clay. I'll put this aside and show you Garen Forest. Maybe some of you have already seen this on Instagram. So we have some trees, we have some trunks, we have, I'm missing the name, it's fly agaric. I looked it up, I wrote it down and I forgot it. Fly agaric, is that right? It's a fly agaric. It's beautiful and it can be found on the overall map. I will show you as a comparison. World map. When you look really, really close, you see He is right there, standing right there, together with the tiny one. Yeah, this is what I created with clay, and there's even another plate. And may I introduce an old friend. I gave him a different posture. So he's doing the "ow" right now. Then we have his tail, which we will hopefully get onto him without gluing our fingers together again. We have some beautiful flowers and even this guy. And I think we even prepared a video for this, right? Maybe we can see this, how I got here, how I created the trees.
All right.
So this is Garden Forest. I started first mixing the trunks and then working on all the trees. It's a lot of trees I've been working on. All the trees contains of like 3 layers. We have the base layer, and then it gets thinner and thinner to the top. This is how I created the trunk. And now placing them all on the plate. Now this is a beautiful detail. I'll show you this in a minute again. Adding some grass, because it will place on an underground, which is hopefully beautifully painted by Kirsten. Yeah, yeah.
I'll try my very best.
Yeah, she says yes, of course. So I'm excited for that. What I want to do right now, I want to assemble the trees, look if it works. Putting the pine trees onto the trunks, and then we will take care of Inugami, the water Inugami, and maybe even place him on this beautiful rock, because this is how he enters the game. When you fight the very first boss, you see him jumping from this tiny rock, and I thought it would be quite nice to implement this. So now let's work on the trees. Enjoy the show, how I assemble some trees with the super glue. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I need the knife for that. Yeah. This is our very first tree, the pine tree, our first trunk. I added the beautiful details. And before gluing, maybe it makes sense to smoothen the surface just a little bit. Hopefully I don't cut myself right now. Doing the focusing with the nose on the screen. Okay, yeah, it should be more even right now. Look at that. This is the super glue. I ordered some new super glue. Yeah, I think this one is gone. Oh boy, what a pity. Now there is some super glue coming out. And this was even too much of super glue. This is in the middle of the tree. And it works immediately. Look at the tree. Quite beautiful. We have some different colors when it comes to the trees, but let me remove the super glue first. Otherwise I will just touch it. So we have some further trees to work on, and it even is even. It even stands. It doesn't fall off. Okay, now, but we should be able to glue this onto the map. Maybe we can pick another tree. Let's take this one. Okay. Oh yeah, this should go right there. You only need a tiny bit of the super glue. And the next pine tree is finished. Look at that. Yeah, maybe we can pick another one, the brightest one, and glue him onto one of the trunks. Yeah, let's take this one. Okay, it's a little bit crooked, so I'll cut away a little bit of the clay. And then we can glue it right there. Yeah. Only a little bit of the super glue. Maybe we can turn it that it looks straight. Yeah, the next pine tree is finished, the third one. And I will take all the three of them with me when I will go downstairs in a minute, so we can get like perspective and see yeah, what it is, or what the right size is for the gigantic miniature map. I just wrote, I just saw some questions from your side. When do you think you're going to finish the project? So the whole project will probably be finished, let's say 90% will be finished in 2 weeks, when we have the final live stream for this project. There will be some further videos on this project, but in 2 weeks we want to have the continents be finished. We want all the details to be finished, all the beautiful clay details, for example. I have to look it up. It's the fly agaric. Agaric, why can't I remember that word? Yeah, I hate working with super glue. This was one of your comments. I haven't seen who it was. Sorry for that. Yeah, I hate working with super glue too. MTO Jan. So thanks a lot. Look at that. It's quite a material. Yeah, I hate it too. And it can be quite dangerous as well. So maybe we can even take some other glue for the next gluing action we are about to do. Super glue is really beautiful because you can just work quickly with it, but it's also quite dangerous if you don't pay really close attention when working with that. Okay, now what do we want to do next? Origami, the water, inugami, origami. I should have done him with paper, and then nobody would care if I say origami or inugami. So this is the guy, and I'm not sure if you can see this. I used some wire underneath to get him in position, and we can remove him carefully. Okay, we won't need that. This is our guy, look at that. Oh. We will glue the tail onto the torso. It should look like this. Maybe we just cut away a little bit of clay to get an even surface. Yeah. And stuff like this, for example, is only possible with the super glue. And as much as I hate this material, this is what it does. Just, yeah, it's too dangerous. So I put this aside. This is the last working step with the super glue, because this one just squirted and is destroyed. I already ordered some new super glue, but it will take probably some more days. Look at that. Ta-da! Yeah, I really don't want to advertise this super glue because it's that dangerous to work with, but it does some beautiful stuff. Now, this is the rock, and the rock. Oh, I should make the rock with clay. I love that guy. and we can place him on the rock. Oh, look at that. It looks quite epic, doesn't it? Maybe I can use some of the super glue down here so that I don't have to touch this tube again. And we will place him right there. Yeah, finished. I created Inugami during the last live stream. Well, actually just one side. And all I did in preparation for this live stream was to put him into this beautiful posture, adding some tiny details like the teeth. I forgot these during the last live stream. Yeah, and here we go. Now we have this guy, we have 3 trees, which I already have prepared. Let me just close the super glue. Too dangerous, dangerous stuff. And we will go downstairs. I'm really curious what Kirsten has done, what Steph has done with the foam, and Kirsten with the paper clay. So let's take these with us, place them on the map together with the 3 trees, and see you downstairs. Okay. Yeah, we could start over here, if you like.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
What has happened?
What
till-
has happened?
Yeah. What has happened?
Oh my gosh. I think I finished or almost finished the first little island.
Oh, yeah.
One with the Isle of Conquest on it. And you can see like there's still some work that needs to be done on it, but you've got a lot of like those lovely little textures.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the material itself doesn't lend itself to like a perfect surface, so there are all those little bumps which make it seem, I think, even more like organic. And also the edges are a lot softer now, which I think comes a lot closer to how the in-game map looks like. There's a softness to everything, and
Yes. It actually reminds me of a cartoon somehow.
yeah, there's like both a vintage thing and a cartoonish thing going on, and yeah, I'm working towards it with this very, very disgusting looking paper clay.
So for those of you who have just joined, what is this? What
is
are you
this
doing?
mess? Oh my gosh, what is this mess? So this is basically just toilet paper. This is paper mache or something similar. And what you do is you take the toilet paper and you let it sit in water for half a day or something, and you get this disgusting mess. Look at it, it's disgusting. And what needs to be done with it now is you take it out and you enjoy yourself while doing it, which I do. You squelch it until there's little to no water left in it, because you don't want the water, you want glue. And then you mix it with glue. And the glue I use is a mixture of wood glue and wallpaper glue. And the wood glue is something that we need for it to stick to the construction foam. And then everything gets even more disgusting.
And you really use your hands for that. Did you even think about using some gloves?
Not really, not a second. Whenever there's something like paper mache-ish in the studio that needs to be done, I'm always the first in line because I enjoy this so much. Ah, it's lovely. And I imagine this is like baking. I know very little about baking, but you need this until you have like the glue really worked into the paper, and you get a material that you can actually sculpt with. Like it's different than polymer clay, of course. Like you can feel there are still the fibers of the paper, so it's little.
The
harder.
texture of the paper, of the toilet paper, yeah.
It's still there, but you can actually do beautiful things with this. You can do puppets, you can like do model houses. There are a lot of uses for this, and very lightweight, which is probably the most important thing. Like it's weighing basically nothing. It's nothing but paper and a little glue added to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really beautiful, and I guess when it is dry, which will take how long? What do you say?
Day and a half.
Day and a half for
maybe
that.
2 days.
Like it really does need to sit a little to dry. But afterwards it basically goes back to white, like this is a dried piece. It just looks this murky gray because it's because it's fresh and because it's still wet. And you can do lots of things with it. You can even sand it off and like do smoother surfaces. So
I guess you don't have to do the white painting like you did with the table.
yes.
Yeah.
So this is very, very nice. I can
So
just
it's like the
start.
base layer.
I
Yeah.
can just start. It's paper. It's easy to paint. It has a lot of like good things about it.
Yeah. Well, to be quite honest, first I was afraid that this sharpiness, which makes it look so natural, like real rocks, will lose some of its edges. But I love how this really turned out. Not only that you added these cracks in the surface, but also that it can look quite sharp, like here. And it really does look sharp, like rocks, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot. You can do a lot more with it than you'd think at first. Like I'm no master at it. Like of course I'm not, but it's interesting and it's so easy to make.
So that's great.
Yeah.
You have everything at home. You can just go do something.
At least it looks easy when you do it.
I'm sure you'd excel at it.
So I brought you 3 trees. I'll
That's
just let them
beautiful.
sit right there together with inugami, which is not made with origami. But yeah, we get a perspective for the scale, and this was what I was hoping for, to see what it would look like on the final map. And maybe, Andy is somewhere in the sky. Maybe you can switch to this overall cam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
to-
can see everything. How
Okay.
small it is.
Oh yeah, perfect.
I was soaking in the comments.
So Andy is soaking in the comments right now.
I hope you soak in those comments.
Yeah, and we will definitely come back to all of your questions. So just make sure to write them and we will read them and answer them. But for now, well, thanks a lot for showing us. And we will visit Steph, what he has been doing for the past minutes.
And I'm taking care that I'm not going to hurt the little guy. Precious.
Goodbye, Inugami.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, please don't. Please don't let him mind.
Okay.
We're still working on our dimension hole. The task hasn't changed yet.
How do you feel about that?
So I'll try to finish it in time for this live stream. Yeah, it's a mess, I know.
Oh, you're wearing some socks. Some of you remember from the first live stream.
If I should take them off, I happily do so. And now they're washed, so in that case. And yeah,
Bless you.
Oh yeah, look at that. It fits perfectly.
so, and you can just see the front side of it.
Hmm.
So as a little comparison, maybe.
Oh yeah.
And it's actually, well, it's making it up as we go. I don't know what I'm going for, but I try to get some smooth and sharp edges and not just too rocky, even if it's rocks underneath. So I think it's gonna be like a little mixture of both in the end. And yeah, I will try to finish that in time.
It's the color of the foam is right now. It feels disturbing because it is still that strong, but the shape fits perfectly. When I try to imagine this painted black or with the shadows, as you can
It's
see.
not gonna stay like
Yeah. But I love how you can just by using so you use the knife for this.
I actually use the
Scalpel.
and
Oh, yeah.
the knife. Well, they're pretty similar in function and in sharpness, but this is actually longer, so it's easier to cut longer pieces.
Oh yeah.
So I just like,
Is it difficult to work with?
if it's sharp enough, no, it shouldn't. So you can just like smoothly cut through it. And as I said before, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just like going along with it. Yeah, and I try to, because it has like those little, however you call them, like
Cracks?
cracks,
Yeah.
or like it looks very sharp here at some point, and I just like try to make some more sharp edges down below as well, even if you're standing over the map and you won't see them. So it's actually work which hopefully not goes into thin air just like that, but
And it's so lightweight. Look at that. So I hope it's not disturbing, but we will just watch for a minute how you work.
and I'm not using the hot wire anymore. It's a good tool in the beginning for the shapes around, and it's pretty useful. The other tools, we had like different kind of pieces, and I actually broke 2 of them. And-
2?
Yes.
It's one I know about.
No, it's 2. I just broke another one yesterday. So
Well, this
you-
happens.
You can see this. It's not very. Yeah. It's not
Lasting.
straight line anymore. It's kind of bended, and it comes over time. And when you use hot things like hot wire, the hot wire is actually not that bad, but this kind of metal thing, it just burns it away. So you actually burn it away, and you can't get really smooth edges. And overall, I find the knife
Yeah.
is the best tool for it. So if you have the outlines, just go with the knife and try to cut your way in and make whatever you want to make.
Do you think we will need the paper clay here as well?
I guess we do, just a tiny bit to give at least a little bit of structure.
Oh yeah.
I think it will look better in the end.
Yeah. And maybe the color is even sticking a little bit better.
Yeah,
On the material.
Even though acrylic paint really works well with construction firm,
Yeah.
it does. But you have to get an underlaying layer again, so just paint it once and then go with the color you want to make.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks so much. I'll leave the camera right with you. And I will be going upstairs to the desk again. I'll leave Inugami right there. Back to the table. Oh, look, Andy, now you're famous. Woo-hoo. Yeah, there is still some stuff on my table for Garin Forest, which I have been working on. Inugami is now downstairs, so he's gone. And yeah, we have the trees. Maybe we can put in the camera again. The overlayer one, so that you can see me at least talk. Thank you. Yeah, maybe you have seen this guy. He's one of the enemies, so the bad guys, and I thought it would be quite funny to put him inside the whole map. Maybe he's hiding, so in the end it will be just like this, for example, which could be quite funny. Now, this is Garin Forest. the table is getting fuller and fuller. And yeah, I will start working on the next clay piece in a minute. But first of all, for those of you who just started watching the live stream, I also want to show the summary we have done to you, that you understand how we got here, where we are right now, working on the gigantic miniature map for Summoner's War. So could we see the video of the table? Now, this is the table I was talking about. And we have some frame with wood. Steph was building on that, and here you can see Kirsten painting the very first layer. It's just white to get colors brighter. Every color which is following will get will get brighter. Bye, I'm going for my dinner. So, see you in a minute. Next step would be painting getting familiar with the colors of the Summoner's War map, the world map. Starting to add some color gradients, starting to get in some details. Here you can see some footage of the last live stream which we did. And Kirsten showed you how she is dealing with the colors, how she tries to find the right color, and also using the pen. And these are the continents, the huge ones. We have still a lot to go and still a lot to make. This is styrofoam or just foam, and Steph is using the hot wire to get it into shape, and it looks beautiful already. It helps a lot to cut away huge chunks, huge pieces of this material. And now we've just been downstairs. He's using the knife and now placing on the table. Yeah, ingame, the one which I have just placed on the miniature map down there. It looks beautiful how I created him in the stream. I somehow destroyed him by accident. Yeah, and this is the project, Summoner's War, the miniature map for the 6-year anniversary. For those of you who are not that familiar with the game, let me give you a brief summary. One of you asked about the code. So there is a code down in the description. It is, and I have to look that up, it is, SummonClayClaim. So you can use this code to get some extra items within the game. And now let me show you some brief impressions on the game itself. Let me go in. This is my island. And we have the monsters. This is my proud collection. You try to level them up. You can see this is indicated by the stars, of course. And you try to level them up. You try to make them stronger. You can use the runes, for example, to make them stronger. Let me show this to you. Maybe on this guy. Yeah. So he has a +6 energy rune right now. I can click on power up. And then this happens, and I love this part about this. Okay, now it failed. Great, let's try it again. It failed again. I don't give up. I don't give up. Succeed. Now you were asking, how long is he going to try to do this? Well, it's a long live stream. It can be a very long live stream. And now you can see the attack just increased. And this is one of the ways to make your monsters stronger. And then you use them to fight on, for example, on this overall map. You can see the overall map, the dimension hole which I just created and which I have just passed down to Steph. He's working on the foam part underneath, for example. Then we have Garen Forest. I still have some of the parts right here. some trees, for example. So quite beautiful. I want to show you the fight. The fight of the final boss in this stage. And of course, I will beat him because my monsters are really strong right now. But it's not about, well, fighting hard right now. It's more about showing you what this game is really about. So I'm using the attacks, for example. Of course, he's dying because my monsters are really strong right now. And this is like the very first stage. Ah, you remember this guy, which we created with clay on top of the rock? So let me use some of the powers, which I'm quite familiar with. And you see how his health points are decreasing. And this should kill him because, again, I have really strong monsters right now compared to the very first stage. Yeah, so it's a victory. I get my reward. It's a rune which I can then take to improve my monsters, of course. So this is Summoner's War. There is the download link down in the description together with a code. So check the game out. I would be more than happy to play together with you. You can add me as a friend, although I think you can only add like 50. I have still some slots free, but yeah, just make sure to add me as well so that you know what we are actually creating if you're new to the game. And I would like to thank today's sponsor for this live stream. It's Summoner's War. It's the company behind Come To Us. They are celebrating Summoner's War 6-year anniversary, and I am really happy that they are not only trusting us to build this gigantic miniature map, but supporting us to build this gigantic artwork. I have prepared something more for you, which is the next country somehow. You can see it right here. It's the overall map, and I've been working on mount size. I built some of these mountains, some more trees, and even the final boss. So let's put this aside. And then we will come back to some of your questions. Ta-da-da! So this is mount size. Yeah, let me put the camera in position. We have the golem right here. And I thought it would be nice to assemble him, to build him together. He's made out of rocks. He's made out of lava. And he has some fire in him, inside him. So a quite strong creature. I love this guy because of the character design. That's not all. So this is the guy. And then I have some parts of the landscape. We have the mountains. We have some more trees. Ah! It's still stuck to the plate. Okay. And maybe we can glue one of these together. Let me just cut away some clay from the trunk to get it, yeah, even surface. The super glue is gone because I just destroyed it, but I have some different glue. And let's see how this works. It's not super glue, of course, so it takes a little bit longer to dry. And yeah, it may take a little way longer than super glue. But maybe we will get there. Yeah, okay. Look at that. It's a really dark tree because this is the main color for this area, for mount size. And it also matches perfectly the color of the mountains. Look at that. Maybe I will even add some more shadows to that. So I have all my pens right over here. And yeah, this is a gray pen. let's start adding some shadows. Look at that. Maybe some more. And we can make a comparison. I can show you the image, which I used as a blueprint actually. And you can see some of the shadows which I have just drawn. They are right over here. Yeah, it really looks beautiful. We have a stone right here, which I created right there. I used different types of clay. This is a bright one, a little darker one, and maybe we can even add some shadows here as well. Not too much. It should just look a little bit like rocks. Yeah. Okay, so this is Mount Size. Now that the super glue is gone, maybe we can assemble him or pretend that we assemble him on the table. So let's see. This is the torso. We have the legs right here. So finally he should look like something like this. And the other arm, no, it goes this way around, because otherwise the thumbs would be screwed. And there is like a gap between the legs and the torso. So I make sure somehow to glue him to a mountain, like this mountain, for example, that it looks like as if the torso is floating, is flying. Okay, it looks great. There are some runes drawn onto the character, and I try to find the video which I have made from this guy, so you see what I try to paint right there. Okay, let me see. I have too many images right now. Runes, where are you? Yeah, I'm not finding the right video. Well, we can actually just go into the game and I can show you right here what I try to create. It's this guy. It's the, how is he called? Golem. Okay, it's just Golem. Okay, let's start the battle. And we will just finish his guys in a minute. This should go really quick, or not. So I switch over to the automative mode, that it goes way quicker. All the attacks are already somehow integrated into the monsters. And then we will get to the final boss. And then you will see what I mean. And we try to draw these tiny, tiny runes. We have some more guys to kill. It's also golems, but they look a little bit different. So let's kill them with my dream team. Maybe I can take a question right now. Okay. Everything in Summoner's War. Well, thanks for the question. We try to build the whole map, and we try to add as many monsters as possible. And now you can see the runes which I was talking about. They are red. I'm not sure if you can see them properly. I have a beautiful pen for this. Somewhere in my hidden box. This is the pen. And I think the pen is broken. Maybe I have another pen. Yeah, it looks like that. Oh yes, yeah, that one's working. So let's just pretend that I already glued the whole golem together. And let's see what it looks like. Oh great. I love this pen because it's like a polish pen, so the color is covering a lot. And we can work on some really close details right here. Look at that. Yeah, I think you get that. Now, this is Mount Size with clay. And this is all I have been working on with clay. It is Artamiel. It is the dimension hole, it's Garan Forest and Mount Size, and you have all seen that today. I try now to somehow wrap it up. It's like 2 hours already on the stream, I can't believe it. We will make some more time for comments, but first of all, let's wrap it up. Let's see what Kirsten has done today, what Steph has done today, and I will go downstairs, see both of them, and yeah, let's have a look. Still working with paper clay. Oh,
Yes!
this looks like a mess, but interesting.
It is a mess, which
So-
is why I used this foil to protect a table. 'cause
What have you
it's-
been doing?
What have I been doing?
It's great.
So this is like the island that I started out with. I'm basically just coding, or I coded the whole thing, trying to get an interesting
Show me your hands. They look beautiful.
stony.
Show me your hand.
Oh, they look so beautiful. They even like all crumbly from like the water. Yeah. So I've been using paper clay to make the surface, to like use it to create textures,
Oh
to
yeah.
create like these little cracks, and yeah, to have a surface overall that is easy to paint and that has like interesting variations, because the material itself is so like irregular. It's a lot harder to do something smooth with it. Oh, haven't destroyed him yet.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've been working, which makes no sense, from the middle of the map onwards. But
That's where you start.
that's where you
From the
start.
center. Go from the center.
Yeah.
Go from the
To the edge, yeah.
Yeah, that was very smart of me, but yes, I think.
It really looks like rocks. I love this. I told you this before when you first started, or Steph started working on the foam. I really loved the texture of it because it has all these sharp edges. It's almost, you can cut yourself on this. So it looks really like rocks, and I was somehow fearing to lose this. And now we get this, we get paper clay with these cracks. It gets a little bit more cartoonish, which is great because,
This is actually
yeah,
where we want to go.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
the map just shows it.
Yeah.
That it's more cartoonish, and that's too much detail. As much as I like it, I do not appreciate it on this kind of
Yeah, exactly.
artwork.
And then it doesn't really fit to the clay stuff, for example, because this looks cartoonish in a way. The monsters are not photorealistic, they are somehow cartoonish as well. Yeah, and it just fits perfectly.
And in the end, the construction firm is just for the foundation of whatever comes next. So that was the intention, and I think
Yeah,
that's what we are doing.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's working. But for me as well, I mean, I did like try something out, and I
Yeah.
liked it, and I liked how soft some of these edges were.
Yeah,
But seeing the whole thing is definitely like a relief to just know, okay, I think this is going to work.
so this is your summary of today's experiment. It is an experiment,
it's
yeah.
always like
Yeah.
you always do things where you're not quite sure if it's going to work out, or if like something is going to
Yeah,
look a lot different than what you anticipated. But I think this is good. I think
Great,
This is a
yeah.
good way to go.
can we have one last look into your pot of paper clay?
Mess. Yeah. So I hope there are no people joining now, but if you are, hi there. It's almost over, but hi there. This is just toilet paper. Paper clay.
Very rare material.
A very, hopefully not as precious anymore. I feel bad if it is as precious. You soak it up with water, you let it sit for a while. It gets really gooey, really disgusting. I love it. I love doing this. You squelch it out until it's pretty dry, because what you want in it is not the water, you want to mix it with glue. And the next thing you do when there's little to no water left is add the glue. The glue we use is a mixture of wood glue and wallpaper glue, because the wood glue sticks to the foam, the wallpaper glue doesn't, but it helps for the paper itself to stick to itself.
I messed the focus up.
Ah,
It was
damn
just blurry
you.
all over.
Damn you! Damn you missing all those lovely details. And then it gets even more disgusting. You need this until you get something that's workable. Like at first it doesn't feel like it's going to be workable. But
I hope the guys get the sound right now. This is, yeah,
I hope people aren't like weirded out totally.
it's amazing material.
Yes, it is. Like you can do lovely things with this actually. You can do whole sculptures just with this, and it's so easy to obtain. So
Oh, amazing.
if you can get over the disgust. So
No, it's not that bad.
that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks so much for showing us. And now we will, well, hop over to Steph's place. He made a mess there as well.
Quite beautiful.
It is. This is what it has to look like.
Well, it looked even worse some days ago, so this is actually
An improvement.
an improvement, yes.
So what have you been doing today? What is your somehow summary?
My summary is dimension hole. I'm trying to go to another dimension, not yet sure where that is, but we have this little piece which Simon did, and it fits right on to it. It fits quite
So
beautifully.
you really finished this piece today, just today?
Not quite. It's almost done. It's almost finished. I think I just have to add a little, or a few more details. Just a few more. Just make some more edges, and then it's kind of done. And I mean, in the end, I guess no one is looking under the island. So
Now people will,
hopefully.
because you mentioned it.
I mentioned it. It's the third time I'm mentioning it. And I actually broke it at one.
Oh yeah.
So I just used wooden glue to stick it together again, because it's such a tiny piece and I'm still working with it. I used some crap and it just like wrapped it around to just make it stick to it.
Perfect.
So that it can harden. And yeah, that's what I did.
And it somehow looks artificial, these rocks, but they have to look artificial, right?
Yeah, I can't look underneath the island,
Yeah.
so it's from the outside it looks very artificial. I think it's a rock kind of basis, but it has very smooth edges, like a dimension hole. It was built by a foreign species, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
I think that's something that someone else
We will back that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for what you have done today. It really looks amazing, especially from this perspective.
Maybe we can float the island
Oh yeah,
with the map.
oh yeah,
Let it float.
oh yeah, I'd love to see that on the map. Right over here.
Where I'm still making a mess.
And I'm not sure if we started already, or if you just want to do it out of clay. There's this little piece to the left here, which is
Oh yeah, I thought about doing this with clay actually. Yeah, or maybe we do it the same way we created the floating island.
yeah.
Yeah. So this will be the position, maybe even the height. It looks right to me.
Yeah.
And we can even add some wool around as clouds maybe.
Well, we're actually using wool for the clouds, and this is like a little special add-on. And I find the clouds very beautiful. They show actually the height again. And this is what we're doing, trying to get a height profile. And yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks so much. Okay, I will go upstairs again for some wrap up, for some answering some of your comments. So let me get back to the table. And I am somehow sad to say that this is almost the end of today's live stream, actually. But we will come to one of your, well, some of your questions. Have you prepared or read some of the questions?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, perfect.
First, a lot of people ask where do you come from, which country, and if you can speak a little bit in your mother language.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to do that. As many of you know or know not, I'm from Germany. We are all from Germany. And yes, I can say something in German, if you like. Guten Abend, wie geht es Ihnen heute? Which actually means like, good evening, how are you all? Well, but in a very formal way. I don't know why I decided to say this. German is a very formal language. Well, it can be, but it can also be really artistic and nice and elaborated. Yeah. Yeah, there are some German videos out, of course, on GTV, so you can check these out. Okay, so, whoa, these are a lot of questions. Bob Ross with Clay. Diane, thanks so much. This is a huge compliment. Thanks so much for that. So William asked, I know this would be hard, but if you had Fortnite Shadow and Ghost fighting made out of clay, it would be epic. Yes, this could be actually great. You know this guy, which is Cyclo. I can show you in detail with the camera, maybe. And maybe he will play an important role. Well, who knows? Yeah. And yeah, we will all wait and we will all be excited for the next season to come out, of course. Some further questions. That desk a mess? Yes, it is. Well, to be honest, I'm not really good at tidying up, and I really love when it is that messy. It makes it somehow creative. You should really try it out. Okay, some further questions. Can we play together? Of course, we can play together. Making everything in Summoner's War. I can't do everything from Summoner's War. As you know, we are building on this gigantic map right now, but I try to add as many monsters as possible, actually. And
I think he actually means if there's a video coming of everything here.
yes, yeah, after the live stream. So in 2 weeks, there will be another live stream of us, yeah, working in the studio, and you can join us. But we will do like a summary as well, a summarizing video of this. So I hope this answers the question of Alexander. Yeah, I have wrote down some further questions which came right at the beginning. So let me see. Epic DG asked, will there be more parts to the making of the world map? Yeah, I mentioned that before. We are building the world map right now. We try to bring in as many details as possible, and then, yeah, we will also build some tiny monsters. You've seen some of them, which are now placed downstairs, and I have Artamiel with me. When we switch to this cam, you can see Artamiel in my hands right now with a sword. Now you should see this. Yeah, it's wool, it's the sword, the wings, and we just drew the golden outline. So this will be like the size for the monsters, and which you have, what you have just seen downstairs on the gigantic map. Kirsten is working on right now with the paper clay. There is already ingame placed down there somewhere in the mess, but I can't find him. It's like he's still there.
Still alive.
It's like, where's Wally? Last words. Thank you so much for watching this live stream today, for joining us on this gigantic miniature map journey, which it really is for us, because we are trying out new materials. We are diving deep into the game Summoner's War, getting to know all the monsters, getting to know all the different locations. I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Summoner's War. They and I would be more than happy if you check out the game. If you haven't, there is a code down in the description, which is, and I have to look that up, SummonClayClaim. Yeah, the download links are there for Android and iOS. Check it out. It's a really it's a fascinating game with a lot of variety, which can be overwhelming at the start. But it opens a huge world, a gigantic world, and we try to cover this up. I hope that the players who already know Summoner's War are quite happy with what we are doing, even if this means that we are talking nonsense from time to time, or most of the time. Well, but we will get there, we will improve. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you, the team right here, Andy, for doing the technical stuff, for improving with the sound. Now I could walk around by using this wireless mic, which was amazing. Kirsten, thank you so much for trying out paper clay again, coating, and working on this gigantic table right now. Steph, thank you so much for sculpting and for not being frightened of new techniques. Thank you so much. Since when? Never.
Never.
Guys, take care, stay safe, and see you very soon on the channel. Bye.